Here's the thing. Apparently, there are men now threatening to join the WNBA, blatantly proving that women were right to choose the bear. Also, fuck a bunch of Sophie fucking Cunningham. So before anybody gets confused, it's not the setup to a joke about the NBA finally discovering women's basketball. Former NBA players Enos Kanter Freedom and Royce White have recently announced that they intend to declare for the WNBA draft, arguing that if the league is going to allow players to identify as women, then apparently they should be allowed to play too, right? So what it is it sounds like these guys are making a statement on transgender women, but they're not. Because the part that keeps getting lost in all of the outrage is there are no openly transgender women playing in the WNBA. None at all. So when somebody says we have to protect women's basketball from biological men, the obvious question is from who? It's actual men, you know? So is anybody playing in the WNBA right now who wasn't assigned female at birth? No, there's nobody. There's not a trans player dominating the league. There's not a trans player taking somebody's roster spot. There's no trans player destroying the competitive balance of the WNBA. The WNBA is discussing transgender eligibility policy because the issue has become politically and publicly controversial. Commissioner Kathy Engelbert has said that the league is considering the issue and the league has scheduled discussions with team executives and players, but that's a discussion about what might happen. It isn't a response to an actual transgender woman currently playing in the league. And that's why dipshit declarations from men like, you know, Kanter Freedom and White are so revolting is they're not actually trying to join the NBA. They're trying to make a political point. And they're essentially saying, if you have a rule that we believe could theoretically allow us to play, well, we're going to test out that rule. We're going to find your loophole. That's a protest. You know, it isn't, there's not a massive wave of transgender people invading professional sports. There's just not. Right? So 2 former NBA players deliberately inserting themselves into a controversy over a policy that hasn't resulted in a single openly transgender woman playing in the WNBA. And that's not the only irony. There are men who have spent professional careers playing men's basketball at the highest level in the world. They know exactly how enormous the physical differences can be between elite women and men's basketball. So the idea that they're suddenly seriously preparing to walk onto a WNBA locker room and compete against professional women, it's impossible to take seriously. They're trolling. They're trolling a policy. They're trying to expose what they believe is an inconsistency, and it's not, because right now the WNBA isn't dealing with any of this. It's dealing with a political controversy about a hypothetical future eligibility question. Huge difference in those things. So, you know, if you've got to be an asshole, be realistic about it. You know, if you've got to be an asshole, try and stay grounded. Talk about the rules if you want to. All we know is that arrest after arrest after arrest that we're seeing right now, especially with grooming of young people, is white Republican men.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It is absolutely white Republican men. And if the people making the loudest noise about this are men who have never actually been WNBA players, who haven't fucking transitioned and gone through the pain and the loss and sometimes the joy and the beauty of transition, you know, maybe the story isn't about trans women after all. Maybe it's about who gets control of the fucking conversation.
Yep. That's really what it is.
Yeah, it's just disgusting, misogynistic, anti-trans behavior from people who have never been impacted by a trans person in their life.
Who have probably never even seen a trans person in their life.
Yeah.